looks like Hatrushki has changed his mind along with Paul Leclerc. Both of them going for the mediums. Blumschein is still in the pits though as the field accelerates away. And has he missed out here on pole position here? Tobias Blumschein is going to be really unfortunate here as we go to green flag, and it's Mikolaj Kutrishki that gets wrong-footed immediately because Chevalier and Atrilla zoom past on the wet tires. They've got so much more traction. The BMWs of Sobers and Bugiera side by side on their wets as well. And it's Ivan Chevalier on his debut that's got the inside here for the Red video. But Atrilla goes all the way around the outside and retakes the lead then on the first lap here at Monza then. And there is actually Simonian getting past one of the BMWs. Is that Tobias Blumschein, who has actually rejoined the order, and he's gone for the wet tires here. So all is not lost for Tobias Blumschein. But anyway, Walton Atrilla then leading up front as we see Mikolaj Kutrishki losing further ground. Now Lexi Taylor passes Kutrishki then. Oh, big moment in the background there for, is that Demolians there, and Bugiera overtakes Demolians off track. They'll have to get that position back. Bayers, surprisingly, has gone from near the very back of the field in sort of 6th or 7th all the way up to 3rd. 3 seconds down on these two. To him and Mitral, the big winners here, because Korsch and Simonian went for the mediums. And in fact, look at this, Simonian fighting back then. So are we seeing the mediums start to come into their own in the GT3 class? Perhaps they're able to hold on a bit as we see, oh, pit stop here. And it's Santiago Barrios going for the medium tire, the dry tires here. Petrushkin and Leclerc, they are on the right tires then increasingly as these conditions continue to shift, whereas everybody else is in a really tricky position here. Oh, big lockup for Hatrushki as he goes well offline onto the wet stuff on those dry tires, which is not a good combination up the inside, but it's a horrible exit for Lexi Taylor as he fights that Joda Porsche full control, and Hatrushki is going to be right in the slipstream then as they go down the start-finish straight. And Paul Leclerc is fighting with Tobias Blumschein for 9th position then. So Blumschein then on the wet tires is caught right back up to Leclerc then on the mediums. Leclerc could well be just about starting to see his fortunes turn around, but not yet as Tobias Blumschein snatches that 9th position off him. Into the pits comes Lexi Taylor from 4th position. That hands forth to Hatrushki, and now Paul Leclerc is trying to follow Tobias Blumschein past the Toyotas as we see a Toyota getting out the way. I believe that might be Ballistas actually that's hit trouble here. And Paul Leclerc going up the inside. Oh, a brief lock up at the brakes. There's not enough space left by Costas Melita. Chevalier takes the lead then because Walton Atrilla is in the pits and there's a BMW following him in. That's Sachin Sobers from 3rd there. Not only has Atrilla pit from the lead and lost a lot of positions, he's come out behind Sobers, who pit from 3rd behind him. As now look how wide Melistas is going out of Lesmo 1. This gives Paul Leclerc a chance to get alongside into Lesmo 2. This time Melistas tries to hang it around the outside. That's bold. Oh, has to be so careful not to hit Leclerc there. It's a big gap to make up. You have to be gaining about a second a lap. And Bugiera and Blumschein. Oh, it's a race to the pits for the BMWs. Oh, and it's Bugiera that just about hits the pit limiter and gets there before Blumschein, but now it's a race in the pits with the 2 Toyotas as well coming in at the same time. Demolians, I think, is staying out then, so it's Balian and Melistas deciding they've had enough. This is the fight for the lead. Ivan Chevalier is desperately trying to hold on to the wets, but he is losing so much time staying out there, and now they're coming upon the GT3 traffic as well for good measure. This is just absolutely staying out and hope that just anything happens that can halt the progress of Hatrushki. But Hatrushki is hovering around menacingly, swarming over the back of the Toyota in that Lamborghini is the Polish driver Mikolaj Hatrushki, the championship lead. He's won every race thus far, and he's made what looks like the perfect call at the moment. Ivan Chevalier's just got to hope he can hold the lead for as long as possible. His Hatrushki cannot afford to be taken out by Ivan Chevalier, so that's the only weapon that Chevalier's got in his arsenal. But look at the exit that Hatrushki's got by comparison to the wet tires on that Toyota. He's going to breeze through round the outside of the straight just after Ascari. There's the lap car just ahead, and Hatrushki has played it absolutely perfectly. He takes the lead then with 27 minutes left to go, and Ivan Chevalier has surely got to head to the pits because Leclerc now is only 9 seconds behind and closing a second a lap, possibly more in these conditions. And indeed, he decides to bail. He's had enough. Out of the pits now comes Kasperzik as well. He is going to drop down the field behind Jeremy Leitas. Those on the dries in these conditions are going to be so much faster. And now Tobias Blumschein, having switched to the dries, has to fight through the field for the second time in a row. Michel Balayan offers no defense, but Blumschein goes very, very deep into that first chicane. And unfortunately for him, Michel Balayan, he will have to let him back through then. So the Frenchman back through. Tobias Blumschein, who did get that brilliant pole position in qualifying, having bad luck at the worst possible moment, having to miss the start, starting the race from the pit lane. Then possibly he may just miss the tyre change, but up the inside, all over the curb, and he cuts the chicane again. Does Tobias Blumschein, and this is costing him so much time. This time he decides, well, I made enough of that corner. I'm going to stay ahead of Michel Balayan. I think he might argue, Balayan, there we go. The Blumschein was not significantly ahead before the chicane there. And Blumschein, I think, is heeded at this time. Gets a much better exit here. So Blumschein, I think, just trying to avoid later penalties. And Ruggiero does pass Lexi Taylor for 5th while we've been watching this. But Blumschein is gearing up for an assault up the inside into the Alboreto Parabolica, and Ivan Chevalier tries to turn it from the outside, gives very, very little space to Tobias Blumschein, who wasn't significantly alongside. It's fair to say the Inception McLaren has to give way, and Lexi Taylor fighting back up the inside into the red video, uses the traffic very, very well as they go free wide, and a little bit of a bump from Buggiera there, who was annoyed that his bid for the lead didn't quite work out. But here comes Blumschein on the inside into the red Filio. This is where he struggled on the brakes earlier on, but this time he clears Ivan Chevalier brilliantly, does Blumschein then. Here comes Lexi Taylor back up the inside of Buggiera. They go side by side for Ascari. Surely Buggiera is going to be able to hold on to that one. Oh, that's risky, as he just has to get his elbows out there. As there is Mitral, who's about to lose the final spot on the podium to Jeremy Leitas, and indeed he has. Leitas is through. And Blumschein, oh, not enough space. Surely to Ascari as they tap each other. And another collision, as that was just a little bit too optimistic for Tobias Blumschein. And now Ivan Chevalier is back in the mix here in this battle for 8th position. Then he's starting to slipstream Blumschein, as Blumschein is starting to feel a little bit boxed in. Needs a little bit more slipstream from the back of Barrios. And that has another nip up the inside into the Alboreto Parabolica. But this time he's gotten the really good exit here as they run side by side, the two BMW Hypercars then, and it's Blumschein that's got the inside then as they go towards the Red Filio again with 16 minutes left on the clock. Blumschein all trying to be crowded out here by Santiago Barrios, who defends aggressively but has to leave room. Blumschein up the inside. Barrios tries to stick it in there for the second part of the chicane, and this is really just a wall of BMWs then for Ivan Chevalier. And again, Blumschein holds the inside line as Barrios almost attempts to squeeze through the curve of Grand 8. Now Blumschein has got that track position. Vaskin Simonian is well in the slipstream. We see the race leader Hutrushki lapping both of them, cutting to the inside. Comes Vaskin Simonian. This is going to be like taking candy from a tiny infant here into the first chicane, and Marin Basir knows there's no point fighting that because he's got nothing to fight with on the wet tyres there. He took the gamble and he is lost. And here comes Chevalier looking for another run into the Parabolic. This time Barrios defends, but doesn't defend well enough. Up the inside, forces his way through. Lucas Korsch is going to hope that he can pass Basir. Oh, and Basir's just holding him up here before this massive pack of Hypercars can reach him. Korsch goes up the inside, and look at Buggiera being really held up here as Basir tries to fight, and oh, it's getting very chaotic. I think that was a spin for Blumschein, potentially. Oh! And it's Blumschein and Melistas that have tangled at Lesmo too, and that caps off a horrible day for Tobias Blumschein, the pole sitter. Jeremy Leitas is going to demote him to 4th. Surely, just look how slow Marin Basir is. He tries to defend the inside, but he knows it's a lost cause on those wet tyres on a bone dry track. And up the inside he goes. Kaspersik now has caught both of them and immediately adds insult to injury. Kaspersik was the one fighting Basir at the start. He pit for the dry tyres and he makes it look very, very easy immediately following Leitas through. As we see now, Leitas and Kaspersik, this the battle to get onto the final spot on the podium, I believe. 4th position here. Up the inside goes Kaspersik before the corner. Jeremy Leitas has got no option but to give way. In fact, Brenu Olivier, who started the very back of the field, remember that qualifying penalty, he is going to really benefit from switching to the medium tyres when he did. Up the inside he goes. It's not going to even be a contest. Poor man there, Basir, as we see Demolians trying to go around the outside of Barrios, who loses the rear end and just about avoids hitting the back of Demolians there. He nearly demolished Demolians. Mikolaj Hytrishki then, as he comes through Parabolica for the final time. And he completes then the hat-trick then, having led almost every lap of this race apart from the wet-dry tyre changes. Mikolaj Hytrishki wins again for the third time in a row at Monza to stretch his championship lead even further then. Sebastian Simonian takes victory in GD3 after gambling on the mediums at the start along with Lucas Koch, but nonetheless 21 seconds to the good. Simonian was just absolutely sublime, and it's his second win in a row. Masic Kasperzik was one of the first to bail for the dry tyres, and as a result, he takes the final spot on the podium from Jeremy Leitas. It was Brunner Olivier went from last to fifth, actually had a very good race ahead of Ruben Baez, and then Marin Basir over a minute down in the end on a race that he did lead quite a lot of. Jerome Mitral is a lap down at 8th ahead of Maxime Wendler, who rounds out our 9 GD3 starters then. In Hypercar, Mikolaj Hytrishki is victorious for the third race in a row, yet to be beaten in Hypercar and Contender this season. And it's looking more and more imperious as this season goes on. Paul Lepere was losing a lot of ground in that first stint, but did at least finish within 20 seconds of Hytrishki, the only driver to do so. Sobers, of those who pit, he was able to jump Walter Triller in the pit stop phase and take the sort of net lead of those who started on the wets, with a Triller just missing out by over a second then in the end. Yanis Bugiera, he also matches his strong result in Fuji with another result in the top 6 with 5th. Lexi Taylor, after some heartbreak in the first couple of races, does finish in 6th, with Yvan Chevalier in his first appearance in Toyota getting 7th. Michel Balian is 8th. Olivier Demolians was 9th. And then Santiago Barrios rounds out the top 10.